Hello, everyone. And why am I frozen?
I was trying to fix it. There you go.
I was trying to greet everyone, and then all of a sudden, I wasn't moving.
Yeah, sorry. I'm here just a second late. Well, you could finish or I could finish, but
Go ahead.
welcome everybody to Sci-Fi Vision for the Institute Investigators review portion, where we're going to be reviewing the third episode. Of course, if you missed our breakdown last night, you can always stream that later. And if you missed earlier, even though this is an institute, we did do our interview earlier with Luke Boyce for Revival. If anybody missed that you can, of course, stream. But yeah, let me just get up the pictures here, and
I got a new setup. Is there light on me? Can you guys see me?
Yeah.
Is it just as dark this way as it always is? It's a little precarious.
No, it's a little brighter. It does look a little brighter.
I've never thought it was dark, but okay.
No, I never thought it was dark either, but it is a little brighter, I think. Let me
trying something new. So, Jamie broke this down last night, right? Was it just last night? Was the breakdown show?
Yeah, on Sundays. Yep.
Yeah, so people can, I guess, go back and watch that on YouTube if they want to, right?
Yeah, if you want to see our more detailed discussion, that's not a review, really. So there we go.
As I watched this episode and some of the developments, I was thinking about our conversation last week, and AJ said to us, Jamie, AJ said, you guys are reading way too much into this. The book is not that, I forget exactly what you said, but you were like, the book is not that deep and complicated. There's not so much clues and subtext as we're searching for in the story.
I said that off screen because I figured I'd let people think what they want.
Oh, you said that off screen?
Yeah.
Well, I think, but I mean, I think everybody wants to find that. They're trying to find that connection, even if it's not necessarily there. But that's
I thought of that when Annie was killed in this episode, and I was like, okay, well, 100 theories about Annie just died on the internet, along with her character. But it turns out she's not even in the book, right, AJ?
No.
I was going to ask you about that because Scarlett was saying something about that she was reading something that there was a homeless Annie that was in the book. It sounds like maybe it's different.
But they've changed it because you got to remember, Tim is not in Maine. Tim in the book is in
South Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina.
Okay, so there's an Annie, but a different Annie, in other words.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Okay, I see. That makes some sense. Yeah, because I don't think she's read it, but I know she was saying something about that. I don't know. I know less than she does. So. But all right.
Okay, well, let's jump into it, I guess.
Yeah. I was going to say, do you guys like this one better than the first two? I know seems like most people think the other two were a little slower and didn't necessarily get into the characters until maybe got to this point that it's moving along a little better.
I mean, I think the characters are still all of them one-dimensional and poorly characterized, and there's just not much to any of the characters, and there's not really one that I can grab onto or really care. If they all got wiped out in next week's episode, I wouldn't really care that much. There's just not a lot going on. For me, the characters are not very compelling, but the story did move along. Did we learn a little more about anything? I don't know. We saw more stuff happening, and it feels like it's moving. As these kids move out quickly every week into somebody goes to, what's it called, back half? I feel like something's got to happen. It does appear to be moving along. Where it's going, I don't know. Hi to all these people in the chat, by the way.
Yes, hello. I am trying to respond to them as we're talking.
Go ahead, Jamie. You go first.
No, I was going to say, what do you think, AJ? You're seeing it from a different perspective. I feel like all three of us are seeing it from a different perspective. You've read the book. I've seen them all at once, and Karen hasn't seen it as we go. So we're kind of all looking at it different. But what did you think?
Yeah, it definitely it's the story's moving along. Again, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, there's a little bit of mystery to it. What's the back half? What's going on? Why are they doing this? All that type of stuff. One thing I've noticed, though, for me, is the characters in the book are younger, so it's a little bit different. Yeah, they're not as.
That's interesting.
They're a little bit older. I want to say Luke is 12 or 10.
Okay.
He's not 14. Let's put it that way. So it's definitely a different dynamic than what we're seeing. Like in this, like Avery is a lot younger than everybody else, whereas in the book everybody's a lot closer in age.
And I don't know why that would be, but sometimes when they age up characters, it's because it's easier to work with actors who are over 18 years old. They can work more hours in the day. They're not legally required to be in school for hours a day. I'm not saying they did that. I'm saying sometimes shows do that, make the kids older so you can cast an older actor.
Yeah. I feel like it would be less relatable if they were even younger for a TV show. I think that's what makes them hard. If anything, makes them hard to connect with to begin with because they are younger. But I don't know. I like the story. I agree with you. I mean, it is pretty straightforward. It's not. I've said from the beginning and tried to tell people, don't expect a puzzle box show. It clearly doesn't have, deep things going on. But I mean, I still think that there's definitely a mystery aspect and trying to figure out, like, what the purpose is of everything. I mean, I think it's becoming much more apparent, what they're trying to do, especially with the stuff that Annie says in this episode. We get a little bit more, hint of maybe what might be going on. But yeah, I agree. Like, I feel like Annie was a part that I would have liked if it went a little bit more because, like, we wanted to know more about her and everybody really liked her and then they killed her off. So clearly we're not going to get, like, some deep backstory on her, which kind of stinks. But I don't know. I mean, I like the kids. Like, I do find it is difficult to connect to them, I think, because they're younger. But I don't feel like this is really a kid's show, though. I mean, it doesn't.
Well, just because there's kids in something doesn't make it a kid's show. I mean,
right. But I mean, I'm saying, like, I don't not connect with them. Like, I think I like it better than you guys do, it sounds like. But I get that they're not, like, super compelling. I mean, obviously we watch some of the other shows, we connect a lot quicker. I don't
not like it. And it's not just the kids. I think all the characters are pretty thin right now. In regards to the question of why the kids are a little older than in the book, Misha says, I doubt many people want to watch young kids get abused. Teenagers, sure.
Yeah, well, we don't really want to watch them get abused either. But
I mean, for me, I don't think, Jamie, that the problem is that I can't connect with the kids because they're young. Look, we all connected very well with young Drew Barrymore in Firestarter, or the kids in Stranger Things were quite young. The kids in Stephen King's Stand By Me, that movie Stand By Me, those kids were young. And we, as adults, connect with,
yeah, but we were a lot younger when Stand By Me came out.
Okay, all right. But it's a movie that holds up. I've seen that movie a million times.
Yeah, no, I still love that movie.
I feel like I kind of wonder, like, part of it is they're trying to do the mystery, but they haven't devoted enough to the character backstory. And with only 8 episodes, we're not really going to get enough of that. And I'm not saying it needs to be like a, 20 some episode series. But I feel like maybe if they had devoted a little bit more time to some of the characters, maybe made.
No, I agree.
It might not be there in the book. It might be in the book. It might not be there in the book.
Yeah. Well, books. It's hard too, though, because books are a lot, different than watching a TV show too. Because
for me, it's writing. It's the writing is why I feel these characters are so. I don't want to blame. I mean, when acting is bad, I call out bad acting. This is not going to win Emmys for acting, but it's not bad. But I think the writing is just not giving me a thing to, like, really grab onto yet. And Annie was maybe the closer thing that I had, and now she's dead.
Kind of like you're rooting for the kids to get out because what's being done because the people around them are so terrible, but you're not necessarily rooting for the kids because of the kids.
That's true.
Yes, the terrible characters. We want the terrible characters to lose. That's why. Good. That's good analysis there, AJ. You're absolutely right. So,
Yeah, I guess that's true. Like it's got the mystery element, and we don't like that they're being abused, as we said, even teenagers.
Like,
But
I have
yeah,
no-
it's not specifically those. It's like we're not worried about them specifically because of who they are or because we love who they are. It's more just as an overall part
I mean,
of the mystery.
Tony has no backstory except that
No,
he's from
Tony
Florida,
doesn't.
and every time he's on the screen, my blood starts to boil. Like that, that guy is getting a reaction out of me.
Yeah, that's true. And he doesn't have a backstory. Yeah.
He enjoys himself a little too much.
Yeah. He enjoys the
Real quick, I just wanted to address Misha's comment. I just started watching this today. I'm watching it under the assumption this is also Dark Tower adjacent. Yes, it is Dark Tower adjacent, but very loosely.
Okay, so that's why I got to go back and read. Although I've only seen Dark Tower, I haven't read Dark Tower. I don't know how close the movie is.
Oh,
to the
don't yeah, just throw it. Yeah, just forget you ever saw that.
I've never read the book. I saw the movie and it's terrible. The movie is
Yeah,
terrible.
forget you saw the movie.
Okay.
Just no. Wait for Mike Flanagan. Wait for Mike Flanagan's series that's eventually going to be on Prime.
Okay. I'll have to do that.
Misha says the movie doesn't count.
I find it interesting though that if the two universes are connected, but they don't really ever tell you that. Like I get if you're a fan of Stephen King, you might know that. But I kind of wonder if they shouldn't say that or give some kind of outright. I don't know.
Well, that's why I said very loosely. It's not going to connect in this. This is its own private, separate story. I mean, the movie Hearts in Atlantis, years and years ago with Anthony Hopkins, that was its own separate story. But in the Stephen King universe, it's connected to the Dark Tower.
Okay.
But you would never know that watching that movie. So you can't go into. I'm not saying you should go into anything. When the Dark Tower show eventually comes out, that is the Dark Tower. Things that are adjacent and maybe reference or something, it's not really important. The story is the story.
That's fair.
That might be Matthew McConaughey's worst movie, I think.
I hate and Idris Elba's.
I mean, I think a lot of his work is bad, and that is especially bad.
I like Idris Elba. I don't know.
McConaughey. Idris Elba does good work.
Oh, I thought you said you don't like Idris Elba. I was going to say I like Idris Elba. Yeah, McConaughey.
Idris Elba's worst movie, and it might be McConaughey's worst movie.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. I have that covered with my picture. Anyone who's read this book have an inkling to why special kids are being exploited and for what purpose. It does kind of make me want to delve deeper into it, though, knowing that. I kind of it makes Dark Tower sound interesting, but I know if it's rated, I'll probably never get that far. But although isn't it like a novella or a series of novellas or something? Isn't it shorter?
No, it's not short by any stretch. The first book is the shortest of all of them. I want to say it's maybe 250 pages. But every book after that is like 800.
It's like Harry Potter. It gets longer and longer and longer.
Yes.
Okay, fair.
I mean, in regard to this comment, if we circle back to this show, for within just the institute that we're watching, I am assuming from what I've seen in these 3 episodes, is that they are trying to weaponize these kids. These kids are special. It seems like what I'm thinking at this point in the institute is that they're trying to weaponize these kids and use them for I don't know, to crash planes like we saw in this episode. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm still really stuck on the point where these kids' powers are so low grade that they can do almost nothing with them.
But yet they're powerful enough to do
They're not. I mean, they're powerful enough to throw a glass of water. We talked about that last week, right? Like, these kids are not powerful, except Avery has shown up now and can maybe read minds, but doesn't have super strength or anything, right? That kid on his own is like maybe not. Anyway, I don't know. We'll get into that. Let's dive into this, I guess.
Okay. So he gets more experiments. I think that's a given. Now, we get to see him. We get to see him abused again more, but he sees the dots, which they didn't expect that he would see them this time.
So I really, really want to talk about what we saw in this scene right here.
That's a good screen grab, Jamie. That's cool as hell.
Thank you. I got a good one.
In this scene, Luke never says he sees the dots.
No,
and
he doesn't.
And they finish, and the doctor says, "That's okay. I didn't think he would see dots today." And like in the breakdown, Jamie thinks that the doctor can see on his computer screen that Luke has seen the dots. I thought watching this,
that's why
I thought that it's a secret still that Luke hasn't revealed it. The doctor assumes he didn't see it. That's how I read this scene.
I just didn't look at it that way. Interesting.
I read the scene as though Luke doesn't say anything, and the doctor said, "No big. It's not a no big deal. I didn't expect it to happen today anyway." And so now they're then they try some other things in this session with him. AJ, I don't know if you can how you read that scene as you watched it.
I know the answer, but the way I read the scene was that he just didn't say anything,
and the doctor assumes he didn't see it.
To me, the scene played that he just didn't say anything. Right. The doctor's only reading his brain scans. There's no, from my understanding with what we've been given in the show, there's nothing in the scans that say, "Ooh, he saw the dots." All the kids have to say that they saw the dots.
And Luke has withheld the Lori.
I don't know.
Scarlett and Jamie last night both kind of you guys seem to take from it that the doctor knows.
Yeah, when he said he didn't expect him to see him, I thought he meant, he's seen him. That was surprising because they made a point in the other episode, which you're right, it still could be not that he's telling the truth, but they said that one of the kids said to Luke, if you see the dots, just tell them because they know if you see them, they know if you're lying. So that's why I took it of him being like, oh yeah, he saw the dots and this is why we're stopping, because I almost sometimes wondered if it's if they go past that point, it'll hurt them or something, because that was when he started getting, sneezing or whatever.
If the doctor can tell by looking at your brain scan that you saw the dots, then why does Luke have to articulate if he saw the dots?
Well, other than they want to force them to do what they say.
What's the point of that?
Yeah, I mean, but if he saw the dots and he didn't say he did, I would think that they would call him out and be like, "Why didn't you tell us you saw the dots?" Because they're not exactly subtle or nice.
Yeah,
you're right. They don't need him to say anything. They don't need him to say anything. They can just do the brain, right? It doesn't. That's another part of the show. There are so many things this week that were so. As soon as you start to pull that thread, they start to fall apart.
Yeah,
and this is one of them. Anyway, I assume that Luke has not articulated the information, and the doctor assumes he doesn't see the dots. Is what I thought happened on that. But we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah. I really think now that you say that, I could see it that way too. All he said was, "I didn't expect you to see him," which could really be taken as that's surprising, or it could be taken as, well, you didn't see them. So it's kind of hard to tell. What do you see in the dots, Scarlett? That's the other thing is, what the hell are the dots? Are they molecules? Are they something with the hole?
It looks like when I look at a Christmas tree without my contacts in.
You're right, it does. So none of the kids are colorblind. That's another good question. How do we know some of them don't? Well, then again, they say dots. Nobody said they were colored dots, right?
Yeah.
They could just see gray dots or.
I mean, I think with 5 people, you would maybe expect 0 color. I don't know what percentage of the population is colorblind, but with only 2 boys in the room, you're probably not going to get one.
Even if they are colorblind, it's dots. It's not like red dot, color dots. Nobody ever says they're colored.
Yeah.
So one of the things I'm getting from the show, and that I really got in this episode, and that I mentioned a couple times in the chat last night, is I really get an air of incompetence from all the adults on this show. They're kind of like a clown car at some points. And I'm starting to think maybe this is a canceled experiment and the Institute was closed down. And these are the 6 people that refuse to give up. And that's why their phone is from 1980 and their playground is rusting away. And I feel like maybe this is a shutdown program. And these incompetent bozos are there still trying to make it happen. Except for the part where they are able to have their own assassin. Then they seem to have some, but I don't get a sense that this is the A-team of doctors analyzing these kids.
Well, the interesting thing I think about the adults is you'd think with something like this, they'd work together, and it's like they all have their own motives and they're like secretive amongst each other. So it's kind of surprising that any of this even works. That it
Toxic work environment.
Yeah, everybody has their own agenda and they're keeping secrets from each other. So it really wouldn't be that surprising if the kids were able to just like open the front door and walk out because nobody's paying attention.
Yeah.
The fact, though, that they seem incompetent makes me wonder, though, is that like a writing issue? Because I don't think they're supposed to seem incompetent. I definitely think they're supposed to seem like they're not, like you said, working together, and maybe that's detrimental.
But I think when the doctor says, "Oh, give me a second, I'll find a vein eventually," that goes directly to
yes, that was incompetent. Yeah,
that's directly to incompetence.
I took that. To be fair, there's a reason that nurses do all that stuff.
Fair.
Okay. Number one. That's number one.
And phlebotomists.
Number two, I almost felt like the way the scene played to me, I almost felt like it was intentional.
See, I'm not the only one that said that.
And it was because of the way he said it.
I thought he was trying to miss him on purpose and was like, when I first saw it, like I thought maybe he was trying to help Luke and he wasn't really injecting him because it looks almost, and granted, we know that he really didn't inject him as an actor. Maybe that's why, but it looks like he injected next to his arm to me. It doesn't even look like it went into him. That was why I thought that it was an intentional mess up. Like that he wasn't.
I agree more with Misha to show just how, if it was Tony is definitely trying to inflict pain. He's a sadist, right? He's a total jerk. But I took the show just how little they care about the kids as people. Yes, this doctor, what's his name? Hawkins. Hendricks. He definitely.
If I'm the one that remembers the name.
Yeah, he definitely. You're right. It's just how little they care about the kids as people.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I made a comment in the chat last night that it is easier to torture and abuse people if you don't think of them as humans. And if this is like the major tactic of the Rwandan genocide was for the Hutus to convince people not to see the Tutsis as people so they could slaughter them, right? Or, it's the Third Reich, like, considered a lot of types of people less than human, so they could, right? Mostly Jewish people, but other kinds of people. And so, it is a thing that it is a psychological tactic throughout history that if you can make someone less than human, it's easier to. And so these people in this hospital, they don't care, but some of them are trying, like maybe somebody like Maureen, is that her name, is trying to make herself not care so she doesn't have to see these kids as humans, right?
Avery even says that one guy doesn't see them as people. He says that later on in the episode.
Oh, the janitor.
Yeah, he says Tony wants to kick you. That was the first part.
Yeah.
Fred or somebody, I don't know, doesn't see people or something like that. So I would agree with that. But I think that's true of a lot of things. That's even sort of the same type of idea on Revival too. Like they're treating them subhuman, and it makes a big difference in the way they're able to treat people like shit. Okay, Golden Child's. Whoa.
What? That's you.
I went to click on what he said.
You have it set up like that.
No, I know. Well, it does that when it's going to all the places. The question is, who's that unknown boss on telephone? Doesn't seem to be government. It's Jeff Fahey. That's my answer.
Is it not Fahey? Is that not pronounced Fahey?
I say Fahey. Fahey.
It's Fahey.
Fahey, right?
Okay, Jeff Fahey. It's Jeff
Irish here. It's Fahey.
Okay. All right. Well, either way, yes. It's Lapidus or Lapidus. How do you? Now I can't even say that name right. It's Lapidus. That's who it is. I question why they. Right. That's what I was just going to say, Kelly. I do question why they're not showing his face. Like they showed his face in the photographs, so that's what's weird. Although, granted, it's a little photograph, so unless you really look, you can't necessarily tell. Like, yes, exactly, Misha. I recognized his voice. I knew who it was. And when they did show the little photographs, I knew who it was, but only because I had already recognized his voice. So I don't know. Maybe if you didn't, you wouldn't know. I don't know.
Well,
it's to make him dark and mysterious.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Most viewers will never zoom in on a photograph that closely, like the way we will.
You're telling us
Nerds on the internet.
You're saying this to people who break down from.
Yeah, but in general, most
in general,
people
no. The
are not
regular normal viewer.
I don't know why they wouldn't show his face. Maybe he's gonna. It's not like it's a really famous. It's not like it's gonna be like Robert Redford, and they don't want to reveal that, right? Like it's not a super famous actor. Maybe he has he's maimed or deformed. Maybe it's just to make him scary. It's just to make him literally shadowy, right, and secretive.
Yeah. So let me ask you, AJ, is there something like that in the book? Like they don't reveal don't describe him or purposely say like that you don't know what he looks like? Or I mean, a book that's kind of harder to do, but.
Well, no, it's in a book. It's easier to do.
Well, I mean, you can't see them anyway. They'd have to say like they don't know what he looks like or something.
I'll say probably.
Okay.
Because I don't remember specifically how King described him right away, but
okay, that's fair.
I keep trying to remember that this was written in like I think 2018 or 2019.
2018ish.
Right before in 2020 when we all I've never met my boss in person. Usually when I talk to my boss, we just have pictures of ourselves on Teams because I'm like, sorry, not taking a shower, just have a meeting, camera off. And like most of the people at my job, I don't even see their face. I just see like initials on the Teams screen when we have a meeting, right? Occasionally I see. I recently went to happy hour and ran into someone I worked for a year and a half, and I had to introduce myself to her. She goes, "Oh, Karen, I'm pretty sure I never saw your face in a year and a half." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't do cameras in meetings." And so I think as I watch the show now, it's maybe not that unusual to me that they're talking to this guy only on the phone and not seeing him. But in 2018, maybe
it's more because we're not seeing him. It's not so much they're only talking to him on the show. It's phone. It's that they're not showing it to us on purpose. I think is the issue there.
I feel like this is one thing that's not going to pay off. Like keeping him in the dark is not going to pay off. It's not like this actor is playing two characters and it's going to be revealed that he's like the janitor is also the boss, right? Like that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Undercover boss.
Undercover boss, yes. I don't think this is going to pay off.
The old equipment, yeah, we've talked about the anachronistic, I'll say it eventually right way, technology that we still don't quite understand. Let's see. Scarlett said, I missed this until now. Maybe red dots equals TP, red TK. I assume she meant blue TK. And gray PC, put them all together in your weapon to save the world, maybe. That would be interesting if each one does represent the other thing.
So, all right. About the stuff in the show, like the old antiquated phone and everything, and how everything's very drab and everything. I don't know, but I don't think they're going to directly address it. Because it's really not anything that's addressed in the book specifically, because it's not like there's a reason for it, just not something that they're probably going to be like, oh, this is why everything looks like this, because there's really, who's going to say that in the show?
Yeah, I like
but
niches.
It is a thing in the book though, too, then.
Yes.
I like niches.
So it wasn't just when it was written. That's interesting.
I'm not sure if that's because of lack of funds, not for the show, lack of funds for the Institute, right? Or to stay as close to analog as possible with these kids. Yeah, both are possible at this point. I kind of wonder, as for what the red and blue and green dots mean, I kind of wonder if they mean anything. Are these sort of like pointless? If the point is to induce physical and emotional pain on these kids to force their powers to manifest more strongly, and like, do they just see dots and they don't mean anything, or they just want you to like? Is it about the stress and the abuse? Is the point? Is the cruelty the point? Because so many, we talked about this last night. So many stories about powers. They're expressed more strongly when the person is stressed or afraid or in pain or whatever, right? The Hulk, like the Hulk. Somebody in the chat says,
angry.
Is it like a Bruce Banner situation?
Yeah. That's, yeah.
Well, I mean, Luke even says his first time in the chair, he's like, I can't control it. I can't just do it on demand. You know, anytime we've seen Luke do it prior to coming to the Institute was when he was agitated or upset or angry.
Yeah.
He was like not super angry, but he was like having strong feelings when he was talking to his parents at MIT, and that's when the pizza flies off the table, right? That's probably the most stress that kid like should I go to MIT or not? MIT or not is probably the most stress, Luke. The most stressful thing Luke's ever had to decide in his life, right? At that point. Yeah. Anyway, I guess we'll see what these mean. I might be falling in the camp of these tests are pointless, except to that pain is the point.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I assume that you're right. Pain could be the point, but I mean, I assume that they want a certain outcome. I don't think that them running the test is necessarily.
And I love people not agreeing because we're going to have all so many theories before we find out what it really is.
Okay, so then we get a shirtless Ben Barnes.
Gratuitous shirtless Ben Barnes.
Yeah. So he is. I don't even think anything happens in this scene other than he goes downstairs and walks past Pendrell. That's like the extent of what happens in that scene. So not a whole lot. And then there's more of that. We already know that. Now he was. I'm assuming in pain as well as just sick because. He's sick. I want to go back. His nose is bleeding. That's why I said I wonder if I thought it seemed to me that like when he started seizing and that maybe they quit when they see the dots because that's why they always say make sure you tell us it could be dangerous for you. Like I thought it was like they can only push him to a certain point when they do it because I know later I think it's Kalisha says something like that they said if she didn't do whatever in the dream box you could have an aneurysm or something. I don't know if it was an aneurysm, but it was something like that. That was what made me think that, especially because his nose started bleeding and started seizing.
If you resist, it said if you resist, you can give yourself an embolism, or an aneurysm.
No, I don't think it was an aneurysm, but I'm saying
it was an embolism. But I mean, surely they could be bullshitting these kids just to make them go along with it, right? They only stay there for 10. They're not there long enough to really know if somebody ever threw an embolism.
Yeah, I don't know. I just assumed that was why he quit because he saw the dots, but I guess it really depends which way he bent that. I don't know that it even matters, but yeah, that's interesting. We both took it completely different. So then we have the scene with Wendy and Tim, and this is the whole thing about the incident report. He does not want to take credit for saving that person. For what's his name, Mr. Dobira?
Whatever, the mini mart man.
Yeah, he doesn't want to take credit for it. He doesn't want to become involved. And she thinks that the other guy shouldn't be made a hero if he didn't do it. And yeah, she's kind of like, why are you not wanting people to know what you did? And it's kind of like questioning, are you a good guy? Are you a bad guy? Why do you think this? Because he says he's a nice guy. And she says, nice guys don't have to tell you they're nice. So yeah, she's a little worried, but I don't know. I mean, I think that so far there's not really enough of them to like make much of, I guess, the relationship. I feel like there could be something there, but there's not yet.
She's the worst. I hate her. She's my most hated character on the show. She's a total bitch to him from the minute he walks through the door. She's been a total jerk. Every word out of her mouth is like, she's so unpleasant from the moment he meets her. She never has anything like even remotely nice to say. She's always riding his ass. She's super suspicious. Like, chill out, lady, right? Like, I mean, she really, she's really just a thoroughly unpleasant young woman, in my opinion.
I find that funny. I kind of just feel like she doesn't want their turf, taken over by big town cop. I don't know.
He's not even working as a cop. He's a security guard. He has no badge. He has no gun. He works the night shift. It's not a big time cop taking over their town. And wait. And he refuses to take credit for he wants to give credit to her local cop So, and she's got a problem with that. So I don't think it's that she doesn't want him. She's trying to force him to take credit for what he did. She's encouraging the big time cop to be a cop in this scene. I really got to disagree with you on that.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is that I think before she did not want him coming in and steamrolling it, but now she's kind of like, why are you not wanting to be a part of it? Not that she necessarily wanted him to take credit, just kind of like, why do you not want to take credit? I think it's more about like she's suspicious of him. I don't know. That's kind of how I felt.
He can never be happy. That's why.
Probably not. What do you think, AJ?
I think she doesn't like out-of-towners. I mean, to put it simply, she doesn't like out-of-towners, and she's suspicious of them. Why don't, because she's right. Most people will be like, hey, I saved somebody. I'm a hero. Look what I did. And giving it to somebody like Drew, the credit to somebody like Drew, who couldn't probably find his way out of a wet paper bag, So I get her suspicion, but I think a lot of it is she just seems like that type of person who doesn't like people from out of town.
I mean, they say that about tiny towns, that it can be difficult to, assimilate. None of us are from a town that small. It is also kind of a thing in Stephen King, right? That there's a lot of really small towns that out-of-towners come home in, and it turns out they're actually Satan or whatever, right?
Fair point. I mean, look how Rambo was treated, in the small town.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't do anything wrong.
I think there was a long discussion in the breakdown last night about why he doesn't want to take credit for the killing, for saving for what he did, for his heroics. And I think it's just because the news story inevitably will focus on how he was disgraced at his last job and lost his job and doesn't carry a badge and doesn't carry a gun because he was drinking and killed a kid. And I think that's why he doesn't want to take credit for it, because he doesn't want to have to relive it. The whole he's a hero thing is going to go right down the tubes as soon as the reporter / assassin, the reporter in town who's also an assassin, finds out. Like, inevitably the media is going to focus on this bad part of his past. I think that's why he doesn't want to take credit.
Oh yeah. Well, he even says to her, he's like, I used to think that way, and I realized it's not the important part of what happened. The important part is he saved the life.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all that should matter, not who did it or why.
She should just be content. Golden Child says, do you think there's a reason that analog clock showed 7 when the digital cashier showed 7:33 when he entered the mini mart? I did notice the digital 7:33. It seemed like it was awful, like in your face. But I would say probably, if that's the case, it probably was a mistake, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't catch it, but I would say that's probably just.
But I did notice the 7:33.
That's probably a production glitch. They probably shot the scenes. The scenes were probably shot separately, and that's why.
Like this show is not about losing time necessarily. When the men in black show up or the aliens come and you lose time.
Yeah, I think that's just I think that's just a continuity error.
I think it probably is. But I didn't notice that they were different. That I definitely didn't notice.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So yeah, that's that scene. Then we go to the dining room, and they're talking about how strong Avery is. And Kalisha says that it's like her, when she hears people, it's like listening to a podcast with the volume down, but he talks directly into her head. And like she's only able to pick like surface thoughts up where he can kind of take, what they're not thinking about. And they are hoping, that he's a strong enough TP for what they need to be able to escape. And then there's like this conversation about he should be more awkward because he reads people's minds. And, I didn't necessarily think that made sense the first time they said it, or the first time I watched it. I still don't necessarily think that makes sense. Like, I'm not sure why he should be weird because he knows what they're thinking and can't take social cues. I would think that would make you better at social cues, but I don't know. It wasn't really super relevant.
I mean, can't take social cues. I mean, a lot of little kids run their mouths about stuff when they shouldn't, right?
Yeah, but he's saying he should be weird and not able to take social cues. Unless I heard it wrong. That was why I was confused, because then he clearly shows he's not great at social cues. So I don't know. Maybe
I don't really think social cues were an issue there. I think he's a kid who, like, yes, he doesn't know when to shut up, but Boyce doesn't be around an 8-year-old. They never freaking shut up.
No, you're right. He said something like, you would think it would make you weird to be able to read minds because you can't learn how to judge tone of voice of those around you. But Avery just knows. That's what Luke? Yes, and that's the part that, like, to me didn't make a whole, like, it was kind of a throwaway line, but it didn't make sense to me. I don't know. Like
he should talk. He's 14 going to MIT. That makes you weird.
Yeah.
But that's why they brought up the Fight Club joke, because the social cue was knowing when to shut your mouth.
Yeah, I do like that.
I think a lot of children struggle with that. I don't think like this.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, they do. As the father of an 11-year-old, absolutely.
Yeah. So he knows that Nikki has been abused, but we kind of already knew that. And then, of course, he says about Kalisha liking Nikki and Nikki not caring, and Luke liking Kalisha. And I kind of like, in the scheme of things, I don't really care about the teen romance drama in this. So yeah, I'm kind of like, it was a funny line, but like, yeah.
Well, it was just showing Avery's power that he.
Yes.
It's more about Avery than.
No, yeah, totally.
And he just, he didn't read he just read them all simultaneously, right? Like he read them all while he was eating his banana. It really like showed how casually he reads minds. Like he's too young to have learned what a violation that is, really, right? Yeah. And what he just revealed, especially to teenagers, if someone's like, "Oh,
they have a crush on you," yeah.
The utter humiliation of that happening in a junior high cafeteria, right?
Do you like me? Check yes or no. Meanwhile, Avery's standing on a table going, "Yes."
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Let's see. I happened to see we missed Misha's comment. That was about what we were saying before. If she's correct about what the kids are doing, ultimately the time would be affected. So yeah, I guess it depends. Maybe it could be important. I don't know. I didn't take it as important. I took it as a production error, but I guess we'll have to see if there's more there. I would say if it's important, we'll see more of that. That's for sure, right?
Now we got to watch every clock in every scene.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll have to be careful about that. So yeah, I don't think there's anything yet about Maureen other than she acted kind of odd there. So when she was listening, this is where I think, this is where Maureen goes and talks to Sigsbee and reports on what they said and what happened. And
One second. I was gonna say, now, if the clock had been 8 o'clock and the other clock was 8:23, then I would have been suspicious.
What? Because it lost.
Yes. Those are numbers. Those are lost numbers.
It's the numbers. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I said it still irritates me that the keychain earlier in the episode was 107, because it was perfect opportunity.
Oh my God.
Why was it 107 instead of 108? So yeah. But anyway, she's telling them what's going on, and
so this confuses me a little, because later in the episode, why is there not a microphone in there? Why do they need Maureen to tell them? Why are they not recording the conversations at all times? Later in the episode, Sigsbee watches video of Stackhouse and Hopkins, whatever his name is, Hawkins? Hendricks. And she can hear what they're saying, right? So I don't understand why they need Maureen. Maybe they don't. Maybe Maureen doesn't know there are mics in there. Maybe I just assume the whole place is mic'd. The kids like speak openly, and I'm like, do you not think you're being recorded?
I don't know. I think they said something about that, like, they quit. Didn't they, when they were looking at the camera equipment, say it was older or something? I don't know, but maybe it's not. Maybe because they were like, they tend to like whisper or something, and she's hoping they'll tell her something. But that's a good point. You would think that they would hear everything.
If something's important enough, they whisper. And there's also dead spots, like we see with because the equipment's old, sometimes you stand in a certain spot, you can't pick up, the mic doesn't pick you up, like when we see with the scientists.
Yeah.
And the security.
Well, he was supposed to have turned the mic off. Stackhouse.
Oh, he
did.
turned it off. I thought he said that was a dead spot.
No, he like used a remote or something. It looked like.
Okay.
I think he just lied about it. I thought the playground. Yes.
Sorry, I just read Misha's comment about.
No, I know. I was laughing. It's the bloody snow globe, brother. I just lost.
I was laughing at the Stackhouse comment.
Oh, Golden
I
Child.
was laughing at the lost comment.
Golden Child. Thank you for clarifying that. Sigsbee was only able to watch them, but only we, the audience, could hear what they were saying. Sigsbee's not privy. She's watching them skulk around and be all sus, but only we could hear what they were saying. Thank you, Golden Child. That makes total sense.
That's kind of what I thought before, at least in certain areas anyway. Maybe it depends where they're at, because clearly that hallway had sound, or she wouldn't have heard part of their conversation the first time. But anyway, so Maureen is saying that they should be watching out for Luke because he's questioning the security, and they're basically like, yeah, a lot of them have questions of security, but they've never actually tried to, test it, so they're not too concerned with it, and they probably should be, I'm guessing.
Right? Isn't this another sign of their complete incompetence? Like, they just assume no kid will ever test their, like, if we beat them enough, they'll never, I mean, it is a strategy, right? You beat someone enough, you beat a dog, they stop, barking at you. But it just seems like another sign of their laziness and sloppiness to me.
Yeah. True. And then they talk about the Snatch team, and this is where I was dumb and didn't get they were talking about the Snatch team. I know you heard a conversation last night.
Oh, when he said, like, I heard from Opal, but I didn't hear from
I didn't pick up on that they were talking about the Snatch teams. It took me a second there. But yeah, so they don't think that they have to worry, and I'm sure clearly they do, because otherwise there'd be no shows, so they probably should be paying attention. But
if they only have 5 kids, why there are so few kids? Why do they need multiple Snatch teams? Like, are there that seems like they have so they have at least 2 snatch teams, Opal and Emerald. But only 5 kids are living here, and I guess 1 kid comes in. So far, we've seen 2 kids come in, right? Like, Luke came in, and then a couple days later, if these kids stay an average of 2 weeks in there, then a kid has every few days you need a new kid coming in to sustain this 5-person. It just seems like they seem to have a lot of staff and not a lot of residents. Do they have other wards, other floors with other kids being tortured similarly? I would think Avery could pick them up, so they must be someplace else, right? Or is it just sloppiness on the part of this production?
I would think probably there's more somewhere. Otherwise, you're right. Why would they need? That doesn't make sense that they would need that many people to snatch kids. But I don't know.
The snatchers.
The snatchers. That's what I kept saying before. The snatchers. Yeah,
maybe
I don't know.
Maybe they need multiple teams because it's a location thing. Like you guys take the west. You guys take the West Coast. You guys take South. You guys take the East Coast.
Yeah, and it could take them maybe a while to watch the kids to know when to grab them so they don't cause an issue, that kind of thing.
And recreate their bedrooms.
Recreate their bedrooms. Then we have, so that was the thing with Maureen. I said that. Then we have.
Why would you let Maureen work there? Like, Maureen so clearly hates all of them, hates her job, and sympathizes with the kids. Like, she's
I know. It's
clearly a weak link, right? I mean, maybe you want to have one nice person, so like a good cop, bad cop type situation with these kids.
Well, it totally is. That's why, she's a snitch.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. They'll talk in front of her because she's nice, and then she snitches on them.
Yeah.
She's a jailhouse snitch.
There's also the other thing here is that she tells her that to watch out for Avery reading her mind, and she says something like, even if it's guarded. So they have some kind of thing they do, I guess, to try to block them, but clearly Sigsbee seems better at it than she is. It sounds like, because she's like, watch out for Avery, but he can't. I know he says he can't read her, so I don't know. And then we have, this is where
can you click back? Can you click back?
Which one is that?
Well, that weird line at the end where Maureen's like, I'll clean in here while you're out, Sigsbee.
And that was weird.
Right? Like, first of all, First of all, we've seen a janitor walking around. Like there is a janitor he appears to be the guy that takes out your trash and stuff like that, right?
Well, she's supposed to be a janitor too.
She's a maid.
Well,
is she? Is that her job, being the maid for these kids?
Yes.
Yeah. They show her with the cart sometimes, or at least they do later. I thought they did earlier.
No, I thought she was more like a house mother. I don't know.
No,
she's a maid also.
House mother, maid. I mean, yeah. Same thing.
Yeah, she's definitely supposed to be. But it was weird she said that. Like, is she asking permission? Is she like, oh, I'm sorry?
Maybe Sigsbee doesn't like her to clean up around the office when she's in there. So that's why she was like, hey, I'll take this opportunity.
No, I thought maybe I'll take this opportunity to snoop while you're not here.
That's what it more sounded like to me, but why you would tell her that if you were planning on that, is beyond me.
Yeah.
So that she doesn't she doesn't come back and be like, why are you in my office?
Yeah.
That's true. So this is where
she's the. I'm sorry.
I said she's the worst McGonagall.
She's the worst McGonagall ever.
So this is where Sigsbee is trying to listen to them talk, and Stackhouse mutes it so that she can't hear what they're talking about. Which is when they were talking about trying to find a buyer for the PC or whatever that they were discussing before. We had seen that scene from the other point of view before, so. So let's see. Snitches get stitches. Yep. All right. So is this the hum? I think this is where they hear
the hum. I think.
Let's see.
Before that, didn't she call the mystery man before that?
Is this when she calls? Is this when she calls Charlie and she says, you know, Stackhouse is being a jerk, and he says, listen, stop talking shit about him. When he talks shit about you, when he gossips about, he says gossip, right? He says, you have no evidence of gossip. When he gossips about you, I don't take it to heart. So why, I'm not going to take it to heart now when you gossip about him. And she goes, about me? And he hangs up. Right?
Yeah, that was one. Yeah. She's so surprised to know he's doing the same thing. And that is, like you were saying earlier, they're not working together. They need to work together a little bit more. But no, this isn't the hum yet. I was wrong. No, because it's
the hum. It's the hum.
Okay, it is the hum. But there's also the conversation about Kalisha going in the dream box. So it must be two different parts here, and it's just I got all the pictures together. Because that's why the hum was before the calling the boss.
Okay, I thought it was after.
Yeah, they hear the hum, and
obviously, do you see how she's got this ancient phone? She's going to call Charlie, but you see there's a more modern phone right behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this is like on Severance calling the board on the crappy old phone, but you can still use your smartphone to call each other, right? Like I didn't notice it last night. I just noticed it now.
I didn't notice it before either. Maybe it's like when you call the president, you got to have like a special phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's the bat phone.
It's the bat phone, yeah.
Yeah.
So when they do connect to the hum, though, obviously Annie hears it too. I don't know what. I know AJ knows what it is. I know what it is. So Karen, what do you think about the whole them connecting to hum and what it means and everything? I'm just curious, kind of where your thoughts are on it.
I don't really know. Gotta reach him in 1987. Maybe he's from the past. They're calling to the past.
Maybe that would be interesting.
I don't know what it is. It could be a natural phenomenon that only like a natural phenomenon like some sort of natural phenomenon, whether it's like the hum is a okay, I don't think it's this, but like say there was a thin place in like reality or in time or but like I'm not saying that's what it is because it's not, but like I would call that like a natural phenomenon. It's some kind of natural thing. It could be a machine that they have somewhere inside the institute, and that machine, when it's activated, they hear the hum. Only force sensitive people hear it or whatever, right? It could be a really powerful person that is being held somewhere in that crematorium we saw last week or in the rusty playground. There could be like a really powerful person who's trying to reach out somehow. It could be anything. It's probably not aliens or vampires. But other than that, I'm pretty wide open on what it could be. I haven't thought about it that much. I just watched it for the first time last night along with you guys in the Discord and then right into the breakdown. So, and then I had to drive today, so I didn't really think about it that much.
Aaron, you were up late last night, huh?
I know. Well, I was up kind of late.
The link to Discord I should have up. I'll put it up because I always forget. If you, I don't have the dang thing up. Hold on, I don't have YouTube open for today.
I was up late, AJ, because after the breakdown, I watched the first episode of Nautilus, which is available on demand, Jamie, which I didn't know.
I don't know. I told you, all I said was the Scarlet said it was on AMC at certain times. Beyond that,
I thought you had to have AMC Plus, but it's all in my on demand on Optimum, the worst cable company in America. So probably Xfinity has it too. Hi, Fletcher. Anyway, so I don't really know what it is. Those are just some things you caught me. Like I hadn't really thought about it, and you caught me just now, sort of. Suddenly to think about it. If anybody's got ideas about, AJ knows what it is, but if people have other ideas about what it is, we chat. I'd love to talk about them.
Guys, I think it sounds like kind of electronic. Maybe was what I was thinking. I guess the first time I wasn't sure what to think, but it kind of sounded like it made me think like of an electronic hum or something. I don't know. It's interesting. It's clearly connected to what all's going on, though. It's something important. But
it was like that hum that was coming from like your fan or Scarlett's air conditioner or something last night. There was like a hum in AJ. There was a hum in the background of the stream last night, and there's a lot of speculation about what it is. And we never thought it was the hum.
Yeah, maybe it was. That's a good answer. I like that.
It could be a thinny.
A thinny. That's like a thin place in like.
That's what you were talking about.
Well, in Castle Rock. Remember Castle Rock?
It was in Castle Rock. It's a Stephen King thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in Castle Rock. That's probably the best suggestion yet.
See, I never watched the end of Castle Rock, so that's not really, I'm not much help. Sorry.
It was in the first season.
It was in the first season.
I don't remember. Okay.
Charlie drinking his bourbon.
Yeah. It is kind of a little like Stranger Things a little bit. We were talking about that last night. Oh, sorry. I got to go back because we skipped this scene. Okay. So Kalisha tells them that she saw the dots in the dream box and she's going to the back half soon. And she'll be no more, she says. And that it was an embolism, Karen. It was an embolism.
I don't understand how she
try not to fight it. If you
try to understand this, because the dream box is like your last step. And she says, I saw the dots in the dream box, but Luke saw the dots on like his second day. So like
I think it's during different experiments, I'm guessing. Yeah,
different situations.
I don't know. I thought the dream box thing was the turning the lights on, so they confused me with that, but then I just figured maybe it just depends on which experiment it is.
When they say the dream box, it makes me think of Olivia on Fringe having to turn all those light bulbs on in that little box.
Oh, yeah. I hadn't thought about that. Forgot about that. But yeah, either way, she's near the end of the experiment. She's moved through. She's ready for the back half. And now she's scared and she thinks that she's going to be taken away. And that's, what she's worried about.
Fletcher, we don't know what the dots are. Only AJ knows because he read the book, but the rest of us don't know.
I was going to say, I don't even know if I know what the dots are. I don't know if they explain.
Haven't you seen the whole show?
Yes, but I'm trying to think if they actually tell what the dots are or not. I don't remember any right. What they are, but think about it.
So Fletcher, we don't know. Yeah, so these kids know, like Sigsbee's like, oh, you're going on to the back half, you're gonna serve your country, and then you'll go home, it'll be so great, we'll wipe your memory.
But even you won't know that you saved the world.
Yeah, because she'll be dead. They've said they're
she give it a Men in Black thingy and erase her memory.
I know that's what they tell them, but I think they're gonna kill him.
You don't believe them? Come on, Karen, you're so negative.
I don't believe them. And none of these
you don't believe what they say.
This going away party was more like a funeral. Although last night in the chat, Jamie, you were saying it's like the melon party. It's like the dessert party on Severance.
The waffle party or the melon ball party. Yeah, it just seemed weird like that. It just had kind of that weird, odd, out of place party feeling. I don't know. So then Tim talks to Annie. And some of what she says doesn't make total sense. But then she starts saying about the hum. And he can't, I love though her thing about he can't hear it because he was born in the 80s and has brain damage from the crop dusting or whatever. But this is when she starts saying that they killed the pilot. They said it was pilot error. They made him read the numbers wrong, and that did seem lostish. But she says it's telepathy. They project it, and she can't talk about it there. She has to be careful, but to stay away from. She says Route 10, but that's supposed to be where the institute is. And she knows he thinks she's crazy, and then she's like, they thought Copernicus was crazy. They thought the Unabomber was crazy.
Unabomber,
Copernicus maybe.
Yeah, and I actually said to my TV, I was like, the Unabomber was crazy.
I know, that's what I said too.
But I felt like a lot. So in this scene, it begins. Tim catches Annie playing hopscotch, and she says, "The Dalai Lama taught me this trick. It keeps them from reading my thoughts." Right. Right. That's just something like that. Right. And then she goes on to.
Yeah.
It's clearly set up to that Tim thinks she's crazy and everyone thinks she's crazy. But I mean, is it possible, like through her ESP powers, she encountered the Dalai Lama, who could be a very powerful, he's a meditator and I mean, when she turns out the thing about the pilot, like she's not, how much of what she says is untrue, right?
That's why I wonder if it could be both things. Like maybe she has mental, Alzheimer's or something, but she also knows things, like can't both be true. That's the way I've looked at it.
I mean, I don't think believing in conspiracies like they're putting stuff in the water or the air that makes you're not able to I don't think that's mental illness. Like believing in conspiracies a mental illness? That's a really fine line to go down, right?
Let me rephrase that. I think that not everything she says is correct. I think some of it she's not all there with it, I guess.
And some of it might be, when she says the Dalai Lama taught this to me, now you're thinking,
I don't know that I believe
does she have a delusion? But could the I mean, I bet nobody meditates as well as the Dalai Lama, right?
Well, I mean, Misha has a good point. Has she said anything that wasn't true, though? I mean, nobody else knows it, but we do as viewers, that she's been pretty spot on.
I mean,
I don't know.
She hasn't really said anything untrue, except I have to agree that the Unabomber was crazy. But
well, yeah.
Other than that,
and I'm not sure about the crop dusting giving people brain damage. That part I'm not so sure about. But
yeah. I mean, but there are people who believe that for sure. Like she's not. It's like I'm sure there are hundreds and thousands of people who believe that crop dusting causes cancer, right?
Oh, they probably do. Yeah.
And so I wouldn't chalk that to mental illness. Like, although the QAnon people, they're borderline, but
some of her things seem like conspiracy theories. Some of them could be true. How's that? That's the best way I'd put it.
Yeah, like Comet Pizza, not true, but does that make you crazy? It makes the one guy who showed up there with a gun crazy, but everybody else is just wrong, right?
Yeah, we don't really know for sure.
Well, yeah, and Mesh is we found out about Roundup, right? We were spraying Roundup on all of our weeds for decades, and guess what?
You find out things are bad for you.
And the Unabomber was 100% mind control.
Yeah, that I haven't heard before.
He wasn't crazy. The kids were controlling his mind.
Okay. No, I mean, I haven't heard that.
I mean, that's interesting, but that's kind of interesting. If this is going to mind control and using the mind, Avery is can put a thought in your head to make you buy licorice, and someone
could somebody do that?
Somebody have put a thought in the Unabomber's head to make him set those bombs.
Yeah, maybe. At least in the scheme of the show, maybe anyway. Okay. So anyway, she tells him to keep his third eye open. So then that's the end of that scene, and we don't really hear much else other than she says about the main takeaway here is that she says about they're killing the pilot. They gave him the wrong number. They made him think it was pilot error, and they're crashing the plane or whatever it is she says that ends up later coming true. And also Scarlett had said something earlier. I know she was trying to explain this stuff to me last night, and I didn't get a chance to read up about it, but
we didn't get to that yet, but
I just plane crash thing, but yeah, to do with HAARP. I have not gotten a chance to read up on that yet, but yeah. So there you go. I have to get to that and read all that. Whoops. All right.
That's a real place that studies I think atmospheric like
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I know she was saying it was something
and-
real, but I didn't get.
I don't know if the R is for radio but I think they study like stuff going up in like the like radio waves in the atmosphere and stuff like that. I'm not really sure. Scarlett could probably do a whole podcast on that. I hope so.
Conspiracy.
Oh, the fake cloud, the Marjorie Taylor Greene conspiracy that they're controlling the weather.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So anyway, we don't know. We know that part of what she says comes true. That's the only part that we know. We know weather control is real. Okay.
Well, yeah, like seeding clouds is a real thing to make it rain, whatever.
Yeah. All right. So now this is where Avery is telling Luke that Tony wants to kick him and that Fred doesn't see them as real. And the whole thing with the licorice, like you said, he gets him to want licorice because Luke doesn't like licorice, but he wants licorice from the machine.
I know.
He's been accomplished to saying, "Can I have your token?" But
but here's the thing: I don't think he made him want licorice. I think he made him just press the button. Like Luke said, "I don't like licorice." He's like, "Don't you want licorice?" And like Luke's like, "No." And then the licorice comes out, and he says,
"Yeah, not made him want licorice. Made him."
Buy licorice.
Want to press the button. Yeah, made him want to get it out, but then he's like, wait, I don't like
just
it.
Made him press the button. Just made him press a certain button. Like literally
controlled in his head.
I took it that he just controlled his motor movement almost and was like, you're gonna press B right now.
Well, he said, did you put that thought in my head? That's why I'm saying made him want to press the button.
Okay, fair enough. Luke says that. Luke had a thought that maybe I didn't see. Yeah, and he says, so you're right. All right, I'll take that back, Jamie. You're right. He says, did you put that? Okay, cool.
Susie says, look up William Reich. That sounds really familiar, but I'm not sure why. Probably was from X-Files or something. I don't know, but it was some conspiracy thing that sounds familiar. So I'd have to look. Jesse Ventura, I know Jesse Ventura I also know because he was in X-Files, but that's a whole other issue.
Anyway.
Yeah, we're getting sidetracked. Okay, so this is when he asks him to read Maureen. And Avery says that she's hiding a lot of secrets and that he knows what they are. She's sad, hates being there, but we can't trust her because she tells Sigsbee everything, even though she doesn't want to, and hates that she does that. But he knows whatever this big secret is that we don't know yet what it is, but he knows what it is. So I'm assuming at some point we're gonna find that out.
Yep.
Then we go to the scene in the bar at the Spitfire, which I still feel like they want for some reason that I'm missing. But anyway, yeah. So then I know we got into a long discussion last night about, should he have been in the bar if he doesn't drink and all, and he's an alcoholic and all.
He got a Coke.
He's not an alcoholic. We had a long talk about this.
He's not an alcoholic. He chose to stop drinking, not because he was an alcoholic.
Drinking, but I took it as he was an alcoholic and he doesn't drink now. But it's not clear and it wasn't explained. That was an assumption.
It's extremely clear because he says it.
Well, he says he quit. He wasn't an alcoholic. Alcoholics do quit drinking.
So people who are not alcoholics quit drinking also.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said it was an assumption.
Usually alcoholics say, I'm an alcoholic, so I don't drink. He just says after everything, the incident.
He says he drank a lot for a while and now he doesn't anymore.
And it makes more sense if he's not, because that was my point. Why would you go in a bar if you're an alcoholic? That was the whole point of the conversation.
Alcoholics can go in bars.
They can.
And not drink.
Some can't. But at any rate, he has a Coke. He's walking around.
No, he's not drinking. He is definitely not drinking.
And the bar I mentioned last night, the bar I hang out at, security. So my bar is across the street from a college, and the college security guys are coming in all the time getting free Cokes, which is essentially what he is. He's not a cop. He's a security guy.
Yeah.
Night Knocker is not a cop. I mean, he works for the cops, but he has no badge. He has no gun.
So that's more of a security guard. Okay. Well, anyway, Kate starts talking to him, and we also were kind of, and I'm curious what AJ, I see the one come up. It has. I wanted to ask you, though, AJ, what you thought about this. Do you think that she was following him, maybe because he was the new guy, or that they're following Annie, or do you think it was a coincidence that she found him in the bar?
She was just at the bar.
She what?
She was just in the right place at the right time. She was just in the bar, and he's the only other one in the bar, and she's bored and wanted to talk to him. And then once, he started talking about Annie, that's when she was like, I might want to take care of this.
That's what I thought. I could see why a reporter would hang out in the town bar, and I could see why an assassin would hang out in the town bar. So she has, and also there appears to be nothing to do in this town, and yet no one's in the bar besides her anyway. Like, it's really not a good place to meet people. Actually, the bar was more crowded the night she was in with her fake girlfriend that she murdered.
They were in the same bar, yeah.
The bar was much more crowded. There were people in the bar,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
It's a weekend.
Golden Child says he's questioning his judgment while drinking, so he stopped to see if it influences him. Maybe.
Yep.
And Bill said Kate is a journalist. I think she is keeping tabs on Annie. So yeah, we've definitely had differing opinions on this. Well, I thought maybe she was spying on, at least on Annie, if not him, or on him just because he's new in town.
Well, we know that journalist is her cover, and that Stackhouse sprang her out of jail 3 years ago.
I think she was a journalist. I think he hired her as an assassin when he did something for her. It was more like a.
No, he got her out of prison. She's not a journalist. He got her out of prison. She's a killer. I mean, unless she was in journalism prison, for which Donald Trump does want to create. But
I assumed whatever she did had to do with the way they said it. I thought she was a journalist, but I guess that makes sense.
She runs the local newspaper. That's about the extent of her journalism.
Well, that's her
journalism. It's a cover.
That's her cover.
Yeah.
She's Stackhouse's killer, who he sprung out of jail. Her cover. So that's why it's in quotation marks up here that she's a journalist. I think she's keeping. I don't think she was keeping tabs on Annie any more than anyway. Well, in this scene, Tim signs Annie's death warrant. Like, as soon as he says, like, "Oh, Annie told me," I'm like, "Oh my god!" She's like, "Excuse me, let me go kill that lady right now." Right? Like he really caused Annie to be killed. And oh my god, this scene, Jamie, I texted you about this today.
I know, that was really weird. Although thankfully those people were okay. She was telling me in this same town of here in Minot, I guess.
Minot. It's pronounced Minot.
Okay, I didn't know. That there was a pilot that just missed hitting another plane. Like
today.
Today.
Like last night, this plane, the senator's plane, goes down in Minot, North Dakota, and today a Delta pilot had to make a emergency whatever to avoid hitting a B-52 bomber.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird that happened, but thankfully they're okay, and he was able to avoid it, which is the point. But it was kind of weird that it happened in this.
But when does the last time you heard of Minot, North Dakota, and then
right? What's happening to airplanes in 2025? I don't know, Fletcher. You're not wrong. There's a lot of issues.
So my whole thing with that conversation with these two is, I'm thinking, Tim just met this woman, and he's like telling her everything.
Yeah.
Bad cop instincts, huh? Bad cop
instincts. Very bad cop instincts at this point. But yeah, the point is the senator was found dead. Somebody, Gavin Ramsey.
Well, found dead in his crashed plane.
And they said it was pilot error, basically. So it's what Annie said was going to happen, and he tells her that she said that, and that he heard it was about mind control and telepathy, and that's what the Institute was for. And she tries to tell him people think the Institute is about aliens, and she says Annie's not even the craziest person in town, and questions that he believes it. But clearly, yes, as soon as he said that, it's like she's dead. So now they have to worry about her. I think they've done nothing because nobody believed her. Now somebody believes her, and she said something she shouldn't have. So yeah.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious what's going to happen next, because Tim and Annie had a conversation earlier, and and she says she's never touched drugs in her entire life, and she used to drink but doesn't anymore. And
her last drink, she said, I think, was in 2002, and what happened that we determined this show takes place at least after 2015, because what was that?
28. It should take place around.
It was written in 2018, but we had some questions about when it occurs. But
in that time frame.
Well, we talked about when Fight Club came out and some other stuff that happened in the episode that made us believe it's at least 2015.
There was something somebody said.
We had a discussion last night, if you remember, Jamie, about whether the killer reporter, Kate, is that her name? Whether Kate was watching Annie, whether the Institute was watching Annie. And I felt like no. Some people feel like yes. I felt like no. And the reason I felt like no is because, okay, if they knew about Annie, and there's been some speculation that Annie maybe was at the Institute as a child and escaped or was let go or is a powerful, I'm like, okay, so you have an ex-inmate living in your town, like right on your doorstep, or you have a powerful telepath living on your doorstep, and like you tolerate that forever, and then speaking to Tim as the last straw and she has to be murdered now. It just doesn't make sense to me that they would like have done that. It seems like this maybe was a surprise to her. That Annie must be saying the same thing to anybody who will listen. She's not like, right? So
I
to
think
me,
that it's that nobody believed her before, and that now that she said something that was true, that was the way I looked at it. They're like, she does know something. She isn't just crazy.
okay,
Like,
Tim didn't believe her. He never said he believed
well,
her.
he didn't say
Nobody
he did.
still nobody believes her. And
Yeah, but why was he questioning the plane crash if he didn't believe her? Clearly, there was something in it that he questioned. That's the point.
I mean, she's saying stuff that is probably true before, like about how these kids drowned or this and that, right? Like, I just find it not believable that they tolerate and that they know about Annie and they tolerate it. And this is the last straw when you got to murder her immediately within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, for the most part, nobody, like everybody knows about Annie, but nobody takes her seriously. The fact that Tim is questioning the whole thing about the plane, that's when she's like, I feel like it's more like, oh shit, Annie might actually be a threat.
Yeah.
Is he saying anything more than that's a creepy coincidence? He doesn't say like, I believe she.
Yeah, but she knows that it's not a coincidence.
Yeah, and it's at least enough that he stopped to listen to the news and questioned, could she be right? I mean, he said to her, "This is what Annie said was going to happen." So clearly, he felt some way about it, or he wouldn't have brought it up.
Why would they let her roam the streets for years? Years she's been roaming the streets of that town.
I feel like Tim's the first person that's taken her seriously.
Yeah,
in any way, shape, or form.
That's what Susie was saying. Enough people thought she was just crazy and they didn't worry about it. But I think it's kind of like now.
All right, I kind of. All right, I'm gonna let it go. Except that I disagree. It's another thing that I talked about when I pull the threads of this show. It just kind of falls apart for me. That I'm like, wait, why? This doesn't make sense to me that they let her hang around. And now, and not just they got to kill her, but she's got to be killed immediately. And she ends up being killed in a very like amateurish fashion, I think, in the end. Because she has
that was kind of the point I was making is she killed her in a way that Tim is immediately going to know that she was murdered.
Yeah. But they don't know that he knows
well,
she doesn't.
And if they've been watching Annie for years and maybe decades, they watch these kids so closely that they can recreate their bedrooms down to like the slightest thing. And yet they don't know Annie doesn't drink. And they're going to just put drinking and drugs there and like make it seem like, oh, she's homeless.
Well, clearly she doesn't know.
But I also feel like most people don't care. I mean, that
is a shitty assassin who didn't do their homework on how to kill you. I'm sorry.
No, you're not wrong. I'm just saying I think that like there's kind of this, I don't know, wrong thinking that like nobody will care about her because she's some homeless crazy person. And I'm not saying that's true. I'm saying I think like there's kind of that assumption, and that's why they're not. I think
there will definitely be somebody's got
wrong for doing that.
Definitely there will be somebody's got to investigate a cause of death, and she will have no alcohol. I'm sorry, there was not time for the assassin to force her to drink and get loaded and drink so much that she passed out and take drugs and then move her back there. Like they killed her and just left a bottle next to her. And I think like the coroner would immediately be like, "Oh, guess what? There's no like." It just seems so.
The assassin. I agree with Fletcher. That's the best answer.
He's saying it because I said it, but yeah,
I know.
It just this is one of those things about this show that when I think about it, I'm like, wait, this makes no sense that you would kill her. You're the worst assassin ever. I'm sorry, but like, get to know like, couldn't they have faked a heart attack? Couldn't she just be murdered and they would go on a fake murder investigation? Couldn't she just disappear and never be seen again? Like, why leave her there? Like, just disappear her.
Yeah, but Misha makes a point that's true, though. Like, if she's some homeless woman, they're not going to do an autopsy. They're never going to know she didn't have alcohol.
I think the coroner always has to determine a cause of death.
Yeah, but a lot of times, at least on television, I don't know about in real life, but a lot of times they just sign the death certificate and say, "Oh, she drank because she had alcohol." You know what I mean? Like they don't care.
I'm sorry,
They don't
but if you
invest-
died with a vodka bottle next to you, they don't automatically write overdose.
well, they do on television shows. I said I don't know about real
yes.
life.
On
but
TV,
they
yes.
do.
On TV, they do.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah, not in real life. Hopefully,
Okay, on TV, yes.
I'm clicking things out. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, Annie's done for is the whole point of that.
Okay, so can we? I'm gonna just disagree with Golden Child here. Remember when they first went to kidnap Luke and said if parents were up, they might have to get wet. They have a history of fake drowning their victims. I mean, yes and no. I think wet work just refers to killing them, right? I don't know if get wet really meant drowning them. I think wet work refers.
Yeah, it's not a literal.
It refers to getting blood.
Unless he's talking about those ones that died at the Red Rocks or whatever. I don't know.
Oh yes, the kids that drowned at the red chair in the river. Yes,
that's my
kids that drowned in the red chair in the river. Okay, sorry, Golden Child, for inferring that you didn't know what wet work means, which surely you do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Drowning. Yeah, couldn't they throw her in the river? Like there's a river, drown her in the river. Oh, she's an old lady who fell in the river.
Yeah, that would be a little more believable. Or she had a heart attack. I mean, she's elderly. They could have easily, they could have done something else. So yeah, not a smart necessarily assassin. All right, so let's see. So then they're playing basketball and they're talking about how they're going to try to escape. And this is where they're saying they don't even have motion sensors. And then there's the whole thing about, and I still wonder if that's foreshadowing when Luke says, and I know it's a quote from the movie, but when Luke says the opportunity for defeating the enemy is provided by the enemy.
It's a quote from The Art of War.
Yeah.
It's from like one of the most famous like treatises on war ever written. Like how many hundred years was that written? Like I don't even know when that was written, The Art of War. But he says, and Nikki says, "Oh, who said that? The Rock?" And Luke is like, "Yeah," but it's not. I don't think it's from a movie. I think it's just from The Art of War.
I thought, I thought when you said that you meant. See, I must have been sleepy last night. We thought you were saying that The Rock was in the movie Art of War. That's why we're like, we said a movie called Art of War. It didn't make sense.
No, The Art of War is like the most classical book on military strategy, and it was written in like 500 years before Christ was born. It's a very, and people like study it in business school still. It's like it's a super like famous treatise on strategy. And so the joke is that who said that? The Rock? Haha, yeah. Right?
Yeah. I didn't.
Yeah, I would be surprised if the quote's been in a movie before, but
Oh yeah, Sun Tzu is The Art of War is quoted in many movies all the time. Sun Tzu is quoted all the time. Yeah.
I assumed. I mean, yes, I know that, but I assumed maybe it really was a movie that they made of it. I didn't get that. I guess I was dumb. I don't know. I thought it was really they were really talking about the movie Art of War. So I missed something there.
I mean, it was an interesting quote, like coming from the kid who is like the resident genius. This is a genius kid who's like 14 going to MIT, right? Like, of course he's read The Art of War and remembers it.
Yeah, but either way, is it foreshadowing? I don't know. It could be. But anyway, this is where Avery can see the dog.
Oh my god, I hated this part. This was last night. AJ, last night in the deep dive, everyone's like, "I love this. He can talk to the dog. He can see the dog. I love that dog. I love
to stop fighting, friends.
This is so interesting. This is so cool." And I was like, "This is so dumb. He can read a dog's mind." Break. And then the whole chat, I love the part last night where the chat devolved into, can he read a bug's mind? Can he read a cat's mind? Can he read a worm's mind? Can he read
But Karen, Game of Thrones, hello, he's a warg.
Yes, and Misha just said it, and somebody
as I said it, Misha wrote it.
Somebody brought it up, and then I said, "Oh yeah, we know what's going to happen in the end. The three-eyed raven is going to tell Avery."
Okay, yeah, that's kind of where we devolved into. I don't know. I personally like the scene, but I also like dogs. So anytime they have something to do with the dog, I'm good.
I like dogs. I just reading.
I know. The whole point, Susie can read a cat's mind. The whole point of the scene is that he knows from watching the dog walk and dig in the ground that there's another playground, that the gates rusted or whatever, and they want to try to find out about it. That's the whole point of the scene. The only part that's
you know what's kind of interesting is that he's not reading the dog's mind. He's seeing through the dog's eyes. Like he read Nikki and Kalicia's feelings about each other, and he reads people's feelings and thoughts, but really he's just seeing through the dog's eyes what he's doing, right?
I kind of took it that like he was seeing the memory. So I don't know. I kind of took it like that's just the way they showed it, I guess, or the way that they.
Well, we saw the guy let the dog go, and the dog.
Right. But I mean, what he was seeing, I thought was like the dog's memory of going through like going there. Like he was like the dog was thinking about it and he was picking up on it. That was how I took
Luke
it.
says, "Are you seeing what the dog sees?" And Avery's like, "Kind of." So
Kind of, yeah.
I think it's a disconnect of visually what they're showing us, the audience, versus how Avery's actually experiencing it.
Well,
but he does say that dogs, they have no mental, they don't block their minds.
Their thoughts.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm pretty sure dogs don't think. Their thoughts are not as complex.
Right.
Their brain is not as.
I mean, I ball.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
I more took it that like he just is seeing the dog's memory of where he went or something like that.
I mean, I don't know that Avery sees your memories. He sees what you're thinking and feeling, right? Like,
well, the dog could have been thinking about, I want to go to this place, the other playground. It's better. I mean, I don't know.
Look at Kelly.
I don't know. I don't think it matters.
Oh my God. Okay, first of all, Kelly's Av is a dog, so we know what side she's on.
But no, actually, that makes sense though. That like with the whole thing with him putting not the Twizzlers,
maybe able to control the dog.
Maybe he could. That could.
Maybe he could make the dog attack the guard so they could escape.
Maybe. Like I mean, we're talking about mind control, not just mind reading. Clearly, from what Annie said, so that is a possibility too, and actually makes sense. So I don't know.
But. Okay, Susie all goes on like my mind. Squirrel.
Yeah.
Sorry, Susie.
Shiny, something shiny. No, yeah.
Maybe like Bran used to control the wolf in Game of Thrones. Oh, he kind of became, yeah. I guess the dog is the dog like Chekhov's gun? Like if you see a German Shepherd in Act 1, will it attack the guard by the final act?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and
see.
At any rate, there's another playground. That is the whole point of what that thing is.
And it's old and rusted and uninhabited. Like that goes back to this idea that it used to be the facility used to have a lot more people doing a lot more stuff, whether it was mind control of children by children or not. But this place was used for other. It's in disrepair, this place.
Yeah. Yes. And I agree. I think dogs have good memories for some things, not all things, but a lot of things, dogs definitely have memories.
Well, they remember every blade of grass they ever peed on ever, and they want to go back to it.
True. Oh my gosh. I think my dog's now going to be terrified to go to the vet after what happened today. I wasn't telling you, I had started to say something before. She has her tooth was abscessed.
Oh, poor Kiki.
And she gets like that stuff on her eye, like where it turns like brown, their fur.
Yeah,
and it was stuck without getting into like the infection, it was stuck in it. And she had to pull the fur out. And I think also to break it open too. But anyway, she really hurt her today. She's on antibiotics now. She's been kind of like upset all day after that. I know it hurt, poor thing.
That's why she's not making an appearance on screen tonight.
Yeah, yes, that's why. Hopefully she'll sleep tonight. Right. I think that's why she's been
what do we have last? Just Alicia go into
okay. So
go into the back half.
Sugar glider. I want a pet sugar glider. That's so cute. I've always wanted a pet sugar glider. Okay, so anyway, this is where she's saying I'm going to back half, and basically
she rolls up with her wine cooler.
Yeah, with her wine cooler, and is like, I will be no more, or whatever she says, something.
You will see me no more.
You will see me no more. Yeah, that's what she says. And then they have their, going away party for Felicia, and she gets really upset, and Nikki tries to console her, and Luke takes the time to kind of get Avery. I don't know if part of that was just to let them have some space, that he pulled Avery away. It wasn't super clear, but it doesn't matter. It ends up that the point is in the end that he's talking to Maureen, and he's kind of like, I know you hate this. You could do something about it. He's kind of like trying to plant thought in her head and see how she reacts is how I took the scene.
Yeah, I think so. So you guys know that "You will see me no more" is from the Bible, right?
I hadn't thought about it, but yeah.
Like when Jesus is near the end there, he says he says, "Soon you will see me no more, but then you will see me again." Or he says, like, "In a little while you'll see me no more, and then in a little while you'll see me again," like something like that. Thank you, Catholic school. So I didn't know if that was like,
is it a reference to that? I don't know.
Was it like code that like you'll see me no more, but you'll see me again? Like that.
Well, that might be what they mean because they're trying to say they won't be dead.
I'm going to connect with you. I'm going to reach out to you. You'll see me no more, but you'll see me again. Like kind of like I didn't know. But then again, I might be reading too much into it, as someone once cautioned.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't realize that. But yeah, I don't know. It could be. Alice says, I'm a little bit behind. Seems like Tim, I'm assuming she means Tim, will know or at least suspect the reporter in Annie's murder because who else did he tell that if he thinks he connects it to? Yeah, you would think. Hopefully he will figure that out because that does seem like a pretty obvious connection there. So we'll have to wait and see. So the kids decide that they're all going to mentally connect with each other, and we don't know exactly what they were intending to do, I guess, just they were all channeling their powers together. And then they break them apart before they can do anything. And we don't really get to know what they would have done or if anything, but they do break them up. And Nikki gets cattle prodded. And yeah, that's the end of that scene. They take her away. And then this is, meanwhile, Tim heads off to see Annie.
And that's what he finds her.
And then I mentioned about the mural, reminds me of the one from, which is completely irrelevant, but it does. So yeah, they take her to the back half. They have to kind of hold Nikki back, and lost room 23 in the Hydra station of Dharma is strong in this one. It kind of is. You're not wrong, Susie. It does look like that, doesn't it? That's funny.
So this was interesting that like Avery stays with her as long as he can, but when he loses her, he says like, "Oh, it's really far," and the stone, like it's hard for him to stay in touch with her through the stone. It seems, right? Isn't that what he says? Oh, in the stone.
Wait, what?
As Kalisha is being brought down into the basement to go over to like back half, Avery is still connecting with her, right? And then he loses contact with her, and he's talking. You might have another slide of this. He's talking to the up in the diamond, and they're like, "Can you still feel her?" And he says, "No." He says it's like a really dark and creepy tunnel, but then he says like, "I can't." She's, he says something like she's getting far, and the stone. He mentions like that the building's made of stone, and he can't. He mentions the stone. He mentions.
Okay, I didn't remember him saying what the room was made of. I thought he just said like once he.
Whole building's made of stone. Whole building's
it is, but I didn't realize he said that. I didn't remember hearing that.
So, which surprised me because like, is there a barrier, like something blocked? That's like I never considered that telepathy would be blocked by layers of stone walls or whatever.
Maybe, or maybe there's something. Maybe there's a machine that causes a hum.
Or maybe it's just because she's too far away now.
Could be that too.
Yeah, maybe you can only
a long hallway. Yeah, that's what I was meaning, Susie. It reminded
which makes me think like if you were going to mind control a pilot in a plane, how close would you have to be? Or are these kids just weak, and if you get stronger and stronger, you could mind control a pilot from a greater distance?
Maybe. Yeah, I can't really answer that. I know AJ can't either.
Or would you have to be like willing, like be a employee on the plane and sacrifice yourself? I don't know.
That would be interesting. I don't know. Yeah, maybe they have other people involved. We don't know. So she's listening to him. I don't know, or watching him. I don't think she can hear him, but hears him like trying to
who's him?
With her.
Oh, she thinks he's watching Avery.
Watches Avery. Sorry, saying that. I don't know what
Avery and Luke.
I don't know. Avery and Luke. Yeah. And then they take her away, and it disconnects them at some point. And then Tim finds Annie dead with the alcohol bottle next to her and the drugs. And we know that that's not the case. And hopefully he'll figure that out. And it's kind of overlapped with her going into the back half, we're assuming, wherever she's headed. And Avery is upset. So yeah.
Hmm.
Fletcher's asking, I'm not sure which book specifically he means, but is there any chance of this being connected since you've read all the books already? Connected with which books, Fletcher? Unless AJ knows what you mean. Maybe
He means
I
Dark
don't
Tower
know what he means. I didn't even
okay.
see the comment until you said something.
or to the King universe.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It would depend what books you mean, but you said it's adjacently connected kind of to Dark Tower, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
maybe that's what you mean.
but it's a like I said earlier, a lot of these shows, they're standalone stories, but there's things that, oh God, no.
No, this is not connected to Lost or From. There
Lost
may
or
be
From
some
or
different
Room
things, but
23 or yeah.
yeah, no, this is not.
I mean, King wrote this before From was in production, right?
No.
Or maybe not before it was in
Room
production. But
23. See, I thought she meant Room from Lost. Okay, see, I misunderstood that statement. That was another movie, Room 23. I thought that was a Lost reference.
I don't know what Room 23.
I thought she was talking
Anyway.
about Room 23 and Lost also.
That's
Yeah,
what I
Lost-
thought. You meant. Okay,
Lost,
I don't
yeah.
know, but anyway, no, Lost from this
Doesn't matter.
not-
Nothing. Yeah, none of this. Nothing's connected to any other show or.
except for maybe a couple Easter eggs.
Yeah.
I don't think there were Easter eggs. I don't think I think we like to read into it, but I do not think this show is putting in Easter eggs.
Well, I think there's probably some, just like there's those posters about the shine. I mean, that's like an Easter egg, but it's not really.
That's a Stephen King thing. Your Time to Shine. The Shine is a Stephen
King Easter egg. But I'm just saying, like, there might be Easter eggs.
I don't think personally. I don't think that creators like throw in links to other franchises very often, unless they're.
I don't know.
There can be, people. Listen, people could like. All right, so we were talking to the showrunner of Revival earlier, and he has a bunch of homages to things that he grew up liking and everything. So there's stuff like that, but nothing is like connected. Like Mike Flanagan in the Midnight Club. Actually, in a lot of Mike Flanagan stuff, he is such a fan of keeping Stephen King. You can see Stephen King books laying around, in his movies and TV shows and stuff.
Yeah, that's
stuff like that.
Yeah, a joke, but it's not anything that's going to like relate. Like it's going to give you a clue if you've watched From or Lost or anything like that. No.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And there are some actors from, obviously, but that's about it.
Well, that's because Canada has to have the same actors over and over again.
That too. I don't know if it films near From or not. That I don't know, Alice.
Okay, Susie, fair enough. It's not a franchise. I mean, yes, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right.
Either way, I like this show. I hope if you didn't like it, you like it a little bit better. More is happening. It's moving, like we said.
I think this is a show that I'm going to enjoy and then kind of forget. Like, so last night in the chat, we mentioned 11/22/63. Also Stephen King, right, AJ?
Yes.
And I enjoyed it, and then I kind of forgot most of what happened in it.
Book was better.
I mean, I know generally what it was about, but I kind of forgot a lot of the, I mean, I think this was gonna be fine, but yeah, we'll see. I don't feel like this is gonna be a show that I'm gonna rewatch every few years.
No. Yeah, it's not puzzle box.
It's very straightforward.
But it's a good show, but it's not From.
Well, it's just not. It's not supposed to be. It's not.
No,
yeah,
it's not.
It's not a puzzle box.
We shouldn't be comparing this to From or to.
No, we shouldn't. I just think a lot of people expected it to be.
It's not. It's not Stephen King's even his best work, right?
It's got sci-fi elements to it, but it's essentially a drama.
Susan says, what do y'all think of the incessant desire of testing if he's PC without saying, I would assume precognition? We talked about this, I know, last week. I think a little more about, we think it stands for precognition. We were agreeing with that.
I also assume precognition, and then somebody in the chat spoiled it.
Did they?
Yeah, somebody came in the chat and said, in the book, it means blah, blah. And I was like,
okay.
I didn't say that. I just somebody confirmed what it means. I'm not gonna say what they said, but I also assume it means precog. That would be, seems like it's their holy grail, and it's a little weird. Like Sigsby has been like, we're not looking for that. We're not looking for that. We were shut down. We're not allowed to do that. Cut it out. And Stackhouse and Hendrix are like, let's secretly look for a PC, right?
Yeah, that's what they're looking for. Somebody to, I guess, sell. I don't know. They said they're looking. There's like, that's what I got out of it. Like somebody will pay for that, to get that. And yes, they did, guys. I think that's part of the problem. But they do that to get you to watch it.
The
That's why I
marketing
kept telling you
department.
guys.
That's the marketing department.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not the
necessarily
writers.
writing
It's
or
not the.
anybody else. Yeah. But that's why I kept saying to people, it's not Puzzle Box. It's not related to Frog. I've been saying that for a long time ago.
The marketing
Yeah.
department does that,
They
and
do.
then content
Everything
creators
was
go.
the next Lost for how long, right?
I think, Susie, seems like precog and telekinesis could be interesting in saving the world. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure these people want to, when they talk about saving, yes, Sigsbee talks about saving the world. I'm not, that could just be a sales pitch for these kids. I'm not sure they want to, I don't know. I guess all people who, when I watch movies and TV shows, and the people that are like the bad guys, quote unquote, right? We say this a lot. All bad guys think they're the good guys. I mean, not all bad guys. Like, I don't think drug dealers think they're the good guys. Like the guys in The Wire don't. But in general, especially mad scientists and like shadowy, abusive government agencies always think they're the good guys, right? They do think they're saving the world.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's hard to tell whether they really are or they just think that, I guess.
Hey, here's a thing, AJ, that Misha pointed out. Like she says, yes, PC's precog. Those aren't abbreviations that King created. That's a frustration with me with this show, that they talk in all these abbreviations that I guess are supposed to be a mystery to us and be figured out. But that I guess is not part of the book or part of King's work.
Yeah,
the way they've done it is it's just an assumption that everybody's going to understand what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah, that too.
That's how I felt for the
Unless
most
they
part.
want you to go into it deeper, but that's, I think, a mistake if they're doing that. So I don't know.
I think what you're saying though is that those aren't like, it's not like King created these abbreviations. These are abbreviations that have been around forever.
Oh, like TK is a real abbreviation for telekinesis, like in the scientific world or the whatever community you're talking about, telekinesis or precognition. Okay, so these are like, so I guess what that means, this is like legit jargon that King didn't create. It's really in the world.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that comment.
So it's
at least that's how I took our comment.
Yeah. And yes, he's a producer of the show, so it's nothing he didn't agree to, and I don't think it's intended to be just like the book. Fair. There have been other shows and movies that Stephen King refused to have his name associated with because they were,
or had it taken off,
or Under the Dome, right? He had his name taken off Under the Dome. A show that we covered many, many years ago. We covered that show.
You guys covered it. I stopped before the first season even ended. I was so disgusted with that.
Mm-hmm.
AJ was over it.
It was bad. Jamie and I hate ourselves, and we watch bad shows.
It started out good. It didn't.
All right.
The Shining. Did Stephen King? Oh yes, the Kubrick Shining. Stephen King hated the Kubrick Shining, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so in wrap up, Jamie, yes, better episode because stuff happened.
No, Fletch. It's not literal. Like Annie's not even in the book.
Annie is created to be, and in the book, Tim is in South Carolina having the experience we've seen him been having. He's a night knocker in South Carolina while the kids are up in, I assume, Maine, right? Are they in Maine?
Yeah.
Somewhere in England, right?
Yeah, they're in the wood. They're in the woods of Maine.
He's like somewhere far away in the book.
Yeah.
And they put him in proximity, and they put Annie as a plot device, I guess, to explain some shit or whatever. I mean, sometimes an added character is great. She's great. We just had a revival call earlier, and we all think that Kay is great, right? A new character can be really good for a TV show.
Hey, look at the Dixon brothers.
Yep.
So,
So,
all right, folks.
that was episode 3. We have 5 to go. We're almost halfway through.
That was
Yeah.
that was episode 3, and there's 8.
Yeah. So I would expect the escape plot to ramp up a little bit, maybe next week, or just to at least start making some type of a plan, or I don't know. We're in the middle of we're in the second act now, right? So I expect like shit to start happening.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna ramp it up.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Yep.
guys.
Thanks, everybody. We appreciate.
Don't forget, Jamie's gonna be back at 1:00 in the morning.
No, it's 12. I don't know why I said 1 o'clock, so I apologize.
Oh, okay.
Guys.
Oh, in 10 minutes. What do you have? What do you have?
That from 55. Yes, midnight. Because we're doing it midnight Murderbot slot. I was getting mixed up. So
wait, is it Murderbot over?
Well, you did it. No, they're doing it in Midnight Murderbot spot. She said.
Now doing it.
You did it last week at 1:00. That's why you forgot.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said that. But yes, we'll be doing that about 15 minutes as soon as I finish.
All right. For the people like me who don't understand what you're talking about, what are you doing at 12 o'clock?
We're doing a live stream for Nautilus. This is for the 5th episode of Nautilus.
Oh.
So if you're watching that, join us. If you're not watching that, join us, and maybe you'll decide you want to watch it. But yeah, we'll be back at midnight to talk about that. And then tomorrow, the 3 of us have Fandom Access, where we'll be talking about all different stuff, right? And then let's see, then Thursday is Librarians and Friday is Revival. And like I said earlier, if you missed the interview that we had with Luke Boyce, the showrunner of Revival, you could still, of course, live stream that if you go to the live tab. Please check out scifivision.com as well for all our interviews and all the good stuff. And check out Discord for our schedule and for all our watch parties. And stay tuned because there's a good chance we're getting some Institute interviews. So stay tuned, guys, and we will let you know. Thanks everybody.
All right.
Please like and subscribe to SciFi Vision.
Good night.
All right.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. See you in the next one.